Today's video is going to be about what I'm doing with this old crusty intake manifold. Okay, today's video is going to be about what I'm going to do with this crusty old intake manifold and why I bought it. And it's basically going to be going on that $100 small block. If you haven't seen that video, that was some time ago that I did it. I'll leave a link up here, probably at the end of this video or sometime during this video, or up here, something like that. But anyway, I bought that Vortec V8 350 Gen 1 small block, roller block. I believe it's like a 96 or 97. And I just bought it for the sake of it. It was $100. The guy told me what was wrong with it. Like, I knew the heads were bad, and cracked Vortec heads, and had a lot of miles on it. And he said it had a rod knock, so I knew it was going to need work. It wasn't a good running motor. I knew it was just basically buying it for the block, just to see if it was any good. And I have no plans for using that engine in anything, but I always wanted to get it together, and I always wanted to do what you call a shade tree engine build. In other words, like back in the old days, you would do an engine build out in your driveway, out in your backyard, or in a shed or a garage or whatever you had back then. And it wasn't anything like today. You would throw rings in it, bearings maybe, new gaskets, lap the valves in maybe at the most, and throw it together, and you'd have a running motor. No such thing as break-in oil back then. You simply put the whatever motor oil you got from the auto parts store, throw that in there in a filter, and crank it up and hope for the best. And if it didn't make any noises, you would run it. You wouldn't even bother to check the oil filter. You just run that thing. And that's basically what I'm going to do with this engine build. I have pretty much all the parts. I'm going to be using a set of old heads. They're the original heads off my 90 Corvette. I'm going to be using them. I have a bunch of rocker arms and push rods around that are still good. Used ones from other builds. I'll go ahead and use them. And same with the camshaft. The crankshaft that came with it, that needs to be reground and polished. So I'm going to try doing that myself in my lathe. I'll be doing a video out. I'm waiting on emery cloth. So as soon as I get the emery cloth, I'll go ahead and do a video on that. I picked up, this is going to be carbureted, and I am going to run this motor on this little stand that I have. So I picked up this Wieand intake manifold. And before anyone says it won't fit the Vortec heads, you're correct. But I'm not using Vortec heads. I'm using the old heads off my 90 Corvette. These will fit. Will match. This I paid $40 for. It's a Wieand, and I actually don't see, it just says Wieand on it. I don't see like here's a serial number, 8004. So if anyone wants to comment in the comment section, what an 8004 Wieand intake is, and what its performance range is. Just let me know. It's a dual plane. Normally for street use and most uses, you want a dual plane if you're running a carburetor. If you are going higher RPM, then you want the single plane. For the cam I'm using with this, it will be double plane will be fine. It's a comp cam that I used to run in the Corvette, one of my last builds, and I replaced that with another cam from Summit with a little more lift. But anyway, getting back to this thing is going to need a little work. As you can see, it's old, dirty, and crusty, and some corrosion, and hopefully you can see that has that one bolt that's going to have to come out. I'm going to try using the old welding a nut trick on it. When you clean these, you got to be careful when cleaning aluminum. You don't use like if you use simple clean on it, it will make the aluminum all funky and stuff. So you got to be careful what you use on the aluminum. I think I'm just going to clean it in my parts washer, which is mineral spirits. And then I'm going to wipe it all down with Marvel Mystery Oil. And just let it soak. And then wipe that all off. I'm not trying to make this thing look shiny and perfectly new. I just want it serviceable. So to get it serviceable, I need to remove, like I said, that one seized bolt. I want to remove this fitting here. I'm just going to plug that and the vacuum port fitting for the power brakes or PVC system, whichever you're running. That's going to get blocked off. I'm not going to be using either of them. I'm just going to be running the motor in on the stand. And like I said, and that's it. So I guess let's get going on this. First thing I think I'm going to do is just get these fittings out of the way. That should be pretty easy, I hope. And then this bolt here, I'm going to probably just fire up the welder and weld a nut on it that way and get that sucker off. And then I'll give this sucker a good cleaning. Yeah, let's get going. Okay, I don't know if you can see in the video, but I welded a washer onto that stud sticking out. And I also welded a nut on top of that. And it's still not coming loose. So I'm going to have to go get my MAP gas torch and try heating the aluminum as much as possible. I was hoping the aluminum would heat up enough while I was welding it to make it loosen up, but it didn't. I can move it just a little bit, but not enough. So I got to go up to my garage because that's where the MAP gas torch is. And I'm just about out. So I need to run up there, get that, torch this, and I'll try and put the wrench to it again. See what happens. I'll be right back. I don't know if you can see that, but the welded nut and washer did not take. It ended up just spinning on the nut. So I'm going to try and get a bigger nut and weld that on. If that doesn't work, I'm just going to cut it flush and drill it. So it's something I might have to do. Unfortunately, I didn't want to do that. I'm looking at the threads on the other bolt hole, and that definitely needs to be either retapped or helicoiled. So I might end up having to drill this and do the same thing, helicoil that. Which ain't no big deal. Just one of the things when you buy an old crusty aluminum intake manifold, or cast iron for that matter. Let me go back up to my garage and get a bigger nut. This, I don't know if I can get that out of there. Yeah, I'm probably going to put it in a vise, get that out. But yeah, let me go get another nut. I'll be right back. We'll try that. worked out really well. Amazingly, the threads that were seized in here are in actually good shape. Let me see if I can show you that without me burning myself. Hopefully you guys can see that. Yeah, they're actually in really good shape. I'll try and get a close-up pic with my cell phone, if I remember. And the threads in here look really good. Better than that. That one I might have to helicoil. I'll have to run a tap through it. All that good stuff, of course. Along with the rest of these holes. These ones where the carburetor mounts to it don't look too bad. They just need cleaning and all that good stuff. So that came out real good. I was worried there for a minute. I was worried I'm going to have to slice that off, grind it, and drill it. And even if I do it in my milling machine, getting it perfectly drilled in the center can be difficult. And then you end up ruining the threads and just have to put either an insert or helicoil. But that threads actually looks better than the one that had the bolt out already. They must have went through a lot of trouble to get that one out. But yeah, I'm happy with that. That worked out good. So let me get to finish cleaning this up and all that good stuff. And then when I do get it all cleaned up and all that good stuff, I am going to probably paint it at some time in the future. Don't know, probably be whatever paint I have over there. I got like this real shiny paint, engine paint that looks chrome. Maybe I'll hit it with that just for laughs. Something else I still need to get. I need to get a set of center bolt valve covers for those heads. I ordered all the gaskets and stuff for this. And but I forgot to order the cam bearings and a few other cam bearings and a few other items that I still need to order. I have bearings, but once I get done reconditioning that crank, those bearings for the crankshaft and the connecting rods probably won't work. They'll probably be, I'll have to go oversize to make up for the material that was removed. So let me go ahead and get this cleaned up. Then I'll probably just end the video. So I ain't gonna put too much effort in getting this cleaned up. Mostly just all I'm interested in is making this serviceable. So let me get going. I think this is about where I'm going to end the video. I mean, I could keep video recording me running taps through all the holes and cleaning and stuff like this. And I got it pretty clean. It doesn't look it because it's covered with basically dirty cleaning fluid that needs to be cleaned off. But like here, and I don't know if you can see that real good or not, but this surface here where the water neck will go and the thermostat housing, that's corroded down. I can just keep going with a file, or maybe I'll mount it in my 3-in-1 machine up in the garage, machine that flat, and then I can remachine that groove for the thermostat if I have to. I definitely need to blow out these holes and retap them all, and I still don't know if I have to helicoil that. I'll know after I run a tap through it. But I'm pretty satisfied with what I got. I do need to clean these surfaces up a little better. I may have to machine these. Those heads there, last time those were machined, they offset the angle on the intake a little bit. You could either double up on the gaskets or remachine the surface, the intake surface where the intake bolts to the head. Or what most people do is they machine the intakes. I actually don't like machining the intakes because if I machine the heads, then I can take any other intake and put it on the heads. Where if I machine the intake, then this intake can only be used on a head that the intake surface is off the same amount. So basically, it's only good for those heads. And anytime you go to put another intake on there, you're going to either have to machine the intake or take the heads off and machine them. So I'll probably just double up on the gaskets. That's the old way of doing it. Save me a lot of trouble. But like I said, I'm going to have a video here. I'm going to take Marble Mystery Oil and just wipe this old down Marble Mystery Oil. Let that soak overnight. And that will help loosen up corrosion and any like aluminum oxide and any of the grease that's on there, and then wash it off real good. Like I said, chase all the run a tap through all the holes, chase all the threads, and then paint it. But yeah, that's it. I'm gonna end the video here. Hopefully in the near future, I'll have a video on that crankshaft, reconditioning, how that turns out. See if I can save that crank by myself at home, or do I got to get another one? And then get the motor together and get it to run. It'll probably happen over the next 3 or 4 weeks, depending when I get to it and when I feel like doing it and all that good stuff. But anyway, in the meantime, everybody have a great day, and God bless.